Hey y'all, just here to tell you a little bit more about the TV commercials that you'll end up making for class. These commercials um, they are for your business that you created at the beginning of the semester, and they need to be either 30 seconds or 60 seconds long because that's how long the two most popular types of commercials are. And I'll break down the rubric here in a second. There are a variety of sources that you could use. And as far as video recording, you could use a cell phone, you could use a camera, different things like that. If you really needed to get creative, you could probably use your school issued device and just flip it around and use the camera on that. And then as far as different programs that you can use to edit or piece the video together, you could add wording in certain spots. You could add an image of your logo, things like that. You could add your website, information about your website, social media, hours, any of those. You could create text and have it kind of fade in, maybe at the end of your video to summarize some information about your company. But the three main programs that I am recommending, and you can find something else if you want. Windows Live Movie Maker is for PCs, and it should come loaded on PCs when they're new. iMovie is for Macs, and then WeVideo is one that you can use with the Chromebook, and there's a link here. The nice thing about it, you don't have to add an extension or anything like that. It's all cloud-based, so it just saves online, and you just log into the site and work on things from there, and it'll save it for you so you can get back to it later. Let's before I forget, there is an example of a 30-second commercial that was created last year. They used iMovie because they were a senior and that's the device that they had, school issued device. So let's take a look at the rubric. So the first thing, speaks clearly. That's important. You're not mispronouncing things. Your volume's fine. Your pacing's good. All of that. Props and costumes. So as you'll see in the video, he didn't use much for that. So you can get dressed up. Another video I had was for a gym, a place to work out. I don't have this one uploaded to Classroom right now, but she went down into the weight room and did different things with weights and medicine balls and mats. And so those were kind of her props. Preparedness, have rehearse. So you'll probably either have to practice multiple times beforehand or even shoot scenes more than one time in order to get it down, unless you're just a natural. Use of time. So I was a little bit more flexible than this rubric. That's why I'm giving you either 30 seconds or 60 seconds because I know it can be kind of tough. But to get full points here, you need to be within 2 seconds, so 28 to 32 seconds or 58 to 62 seconds. I'm not going to count a whole lot if you're off by a little bit more than that. I'll be pretty lenient with that. I do want to mention, like I mentioned before, where you can add like a picture of your logo fading in or text about your company at the end. So that is something that can help you with your timing, right? or you can kind of slow down or have, images brought in between some of the scenes, things like that you can do to adjust what your overall time is going to end up being. Creativity. So commercial demonstrated a high level of creativity. It was exciting and interesting. The commercial made you want to buy the product. So, in other words, don't get up there and say, this is my product. I sell Torpedoes burritos and they're super tasty. I bet this makes you want one because I am so excited and convincing. So don't do that. Try to get into it a little bit. Have some fun with it. You're behind the camera, so it's not like you're doing it live. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more comfort in being goofy. And then advertising techniques. This one I'm pretty lenient with as well. I'm guessing that you will probably do some of these without even knowing it. Just such as maybe you say your slogan or your tagline for your business in a different voice than you do, or maybe you create a little jingle or song with it. Maybe you mention some sort of sale, contact us today to get 10% off, or mention where you saw this ad and we will give you a discount, things like that. I'm not going to go in depth about different advertising techniques in that, but you have all seen enough commercials and different things in the media, different types of promotions to know some different things that you could mention or say or do in your commercial. Oh, I did mention this, I guess, with the 2 asterisks. So yeah, like I said, either 30 or 60 seconds, plus or minus 2 seconds. I don't think I'm going to talk really about anything else here. Like I said, take a look at this. It's a 60-second commercial. Humor. So that would be another advertising technique, is if your commercial is just humorous, which this one, there is some humor with it. I always think back to, I had a commercial made, this was years ago now, and they created, their product was called Sharp Point pens, or Sharp Point pencils, and it was all about creating a pencil that wouldn't go dull and like self-sharpened, and the lead wouldn't break off and all of that stuff. And they made a very funny video that was a kind of a spin-off of, if you've ever seen the commercials for, or they're like long commercials or like a mini infomercial about donating to save animals and things like that. And they get the dramatic music going, and they did all of that with the music and the voices and the facial expressions, but it was all for pencils. So that was pretty funny. Hopefully this helps a little bit. As always, you can use Google and say, WeVideo tips, or the basics of iMovie, things like that, where you're going to be able to find something on YouTube that is just a short tutorial that is going to be able to show you using these products probably better than I can. But if you do want to look more into it or meet on Zoom to talk about any of these particular products, the Mac one I'm not going to be able to help you with live anyway, because I I don't have a Mac. I have a PC, so the other two, the Windows Live Movie Maker and the WeVideo, we could look at a little bit more closely. But have a great day. Bye-bye.